Hey Blades fans, welcome back to Hertz Arena for Game 3 of the South Division semifinals between the Everblades and the Jacksonville Icemen. Will Henshaw alongside Jake Maurice for the first playoff game here at Hertz Arena of the 2024 season. And Jake, the Blades come into this game with a series tied 1-1. A disappointing result for Game 1, but a storming result in Game 2.
Yeah, huge bounce back effort to get the series evened up, winning it in overtime 2-1. Matthew Wedman playing the hero role. Game 1 didn't go the Everblades' way. Almost sort of a little bit of a smack back to reality after the Blades had been playing some really good hockey, but they weren't quite there to step up to the level they needed to be in the playoffs. They did in a big way on Sunday and got the series tied up heading here back to Hertz Arena.
Yeah, definitely a slower start to Game 1, but Game 2 much more evenly matched. No goals in the first, a goal by each team in the second period, and then obviously the overtime winner to seal it. So the Everblades definitely learned from their Game 1 mistakes, and were skating with Jacksonville the entirety of Game 2.
Yeah, Game 2 was probably what we're going to see throughout the rest of this series. Tight defensively, hard to come by chances, low shots, low shot attempts, and both teams holding the other at bay with a combination of strong defensive play and good goaltending. Both goaltenders in this series have been really strong. Cam Johnson, particularly in Game 2, was excellent. Of course, Matt Vernon for Jacksonville had the shutout in Game 1, right? Can't get any better than that.
That's
and
tough.
We're certainly going to be seeing that throughout the rest of this series. You're dealing with two of the best goaltenders in the ECHL, two of the top three goaltenders in the ECHL based on the Goalie of the Year voting. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching those guys battle it out in the crease as it has been for the last two games.
Now, that was not only an important win for the series to tie it up at 1-1, but it was also the very first win that the Blades got all season in Duval County, going 0-4-2 in the regular season. So an important win just to tell yourselves that you can win in enemy territory against this Iceman team, but also very important because now with the format of these playoffs, you've got 3 straight home games coming up and the opportunity to win out here at Hertz Arena and then potentially advance to the next round.
Yeah, it would be great if Florida could avoid going back to Jacksonville, just get this series done here on home ice. And also getting that win, it means that you're not down 2-0, and even if you do well here, you don't have to go back to Jacksonville and worry about getting 1, potentially 2 wins to move on to the next round. It's not anything that's going to play a factor mentally for Florida now. You've gotten a win in Jacksonville in a tight game where the Icemen had their chances to win. Jerry D'Amigo had a really good chance in OT a couple minutes before Wedman's winner that could have changed the outlook of this series quite a bit. But Florida getting that win was huge. And everything changes the feel of the series because even coming back to home ice, if Florida was coming back down 2-0, would have felt really bad. The team went up there with the goal of getting the split, and they got it.
A very crucial couple of games here at Hertz Arena, and we're expecting the home crowd to be a big factor. It's going to be whiteout games, all 3 games, so be sure to wear your white equipment. White whatever, if you got white, shirt, pants.
Make it work.
The whole 9 yards. Just wear white, make it work, and really fill this place out. So we know how important the home crowd can be in these kind of playoff runs, and Florida, knowing how big it can be at Hertz Arena, is definitely trying to make the most of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you are the lower seed team and you have less home games, right, Florida isn't going to have that potential decisive game 7 on home ice. You need to take advantage of these games as best you can. I would say for Florida, in the same way Florida went into Jacksonville looking for a split in the first 2 games, the Blaze need to be looking to claim at least 2 of these 3 games against Jacksonville. Obviously, if you get all 3, then you're just on to the next round, and that's great. But if you're going back to Jacksonville and you're down 1 and you need to get 2 wins on the road in Viceroy Veterans Memorial Arena, that's a really tough ask for Florida. If you need to go up there and get 1, Florida can absolutely manage that just like they did in the first 2 games of the series. So I think when you're looking at these games, you want to obviously you want to win all 3, but if you're going at it from more of a realistic perspective with how tight these games have been between these 2 clubs, you're looking to get 2 of 3 here at home ice. Florida did a really good job of that last year in the playoffs. You got to do it here again.
And some big names are going to be some pretty big players in those games, in those wins. Sean Jostling scored the Blades' first regulation goal of the 2024 playoffs. Then we saw Matt Wedman score the overtime winner, and Josh Hosang providing assist on both of those. Unfortunately, no point scorers in Game 1 due to that shutout, but we're kind of seeing some familiar faces, but some new ones getting thrown into the goal-scoring mix.
Yeah, guys will need to come through in the playoffs in different ways, right? And, your depth players, they'll show up here and there. You're going to need that 3rd and 4th line to pot some goals eventually for Florida. Both the goals Florida has in the series right now coming from the 2nd line. But, yeah, in a playoff series, it's your stars that got to lead the way. The 2nd line guys were certainly the guys for Florida in Game 2. In game one, Florida, it was their top line that, even though they didn't get any goals, they had the majority of the chances. Joe Pendenza in particular was certainly the most dangerous ever played on the ice in that game. Could have probably had about almost 5 goals himself in the second period. He had a monster of a second, but just couldn't get one by Matt Vernon. And on the other side, it's the same thing for Jacksonville. Their captain, Christopher Brown, had 3 points in their game one win. Derek Lodermeyer has goals in each game right now for Jacksonville. So both teams are looking at their big guys, the star players, and saying they're the ones that are going to need to win us this series offensively.
A very important game teed up tonight at Hertz Arena. Game 3 of the South Division semifinals with the series tied 1-1. So, Jake, I think it's about time we get into the Griffith Group of Downing Fry Realty. 3 keys to the game.
Special teams have factored huge in this playoffs. I mean, Jacksonville doesn't have an even strength goal yet. They've got 4 power play goals and a shorthanded empty netter. So, at even strength, Florida's playing some really good hockey right now, outscoring them 2-0 through the series. You want to keep that going, but on the same side of things. On the other side of things, you need to get your power play rolling and the PK. Having a perfect night tonight for the PK would be huge going forward in the series, that you're not worried every time Jacksonville gets a power play that they can swing momentum just like that. Board battle is always going to be huge, especially in a series as tight defensively as this one is. Winning battles in your own zone to get clears, winning battles in the attacking zone to keep pressure on. They can be the swing that you can generate quick chances off that, or the other team could generate if you lose those board battles. So you got to make sure that you're at your best and going in to support your teammates in those tough board scrums. And then finally, for rush chances, there weren't really too many of those in game 2. Finding a way to open up a couple of those for your group while not sacrificing anything that could give Jacksonville that on the other side going to be big tonight, because who knows, 1-2-on-1, that might be the difference between getting the win or going down 2-1 in the series.
Series tied 1-1 here for Game 3 tonight at Hertz Arena. Puck drop between the Icemen and the Everblades set for 7:30 tonight. We'll see you there.